attaching the waistbands, and then I did that one stitch down the center of the elastic to get it in place. And now we've got to close everything off and clean finish it off. So for the edges, you know, once you've pressed up your seam allowance on the long side, we've done this before, where you fold them right sides together on the short edges, keep all of your seam allowance and the pressed allowance away from the skirt, you know, pressed towards the waistband, and stitch across all of them. And you're looking to just end flush with the zipper on the back side, and then you should end flush with this pleat on the left side. And remember to make this zipper kind of turn back towards, I have a picture even on canvas now of this happening. You turn those guys out, press them good, and we can edge stitch down. So on the interfaced flat parts, you know, piece of cake, right? But then you get over to this part, and let me sort of work on this edge here that's nothing's happened to yet. You can imagine this might be a little something to spend some time on, or perhaps a friend is a, you know, because a third hand will be helpful in trying to kind of keep the elastic stretched out so that you can get everything matching just so. You want your seam allowance to be sort of on top of the elastic. If it gets sort of tucked underneath the elastic, that'll cause problems. And also, before you get to this point, do double check once you've stitched your elastic down that it hasn't shifted to where the bottom edge of the elastic is now like past the seam, because that'll cause trouble too. You want that just right along the seam line. So we're going to have this up here and this folded down, and then we'll have a friend like Peyton. Watch that pin right there on the end, and you can hold, and see I can hold. Come on, Peyton, pull. I mean, it might be that if you're by yourself, the cork tables, you know, you sort of pin something down to the cork tables, you know, but now we can get it turned under good. And so we want it wrapped at that 1.5 inches and everything. I'm holding a pin, yes. So do that, you know, a friend will help. Watch very carefully that things are staying aligned. You know, like if I had some perpendicular lines coming across my waistband, I want them landing on top of each other. I wouldn't want something to happen where it gets shifted, because then we'll start to rope and it'll look like that, and you don't want, you know, those twists happening in your waistband. So, you know, you've got the seams as benchmarks, and so then really it's just kind of making sure that it happens nice and smoothly on the elastic parts. So I went through after pinning most of this section and did a little hand baste. Can you see my orange stitches? Where you can at least see my needle and thread there, just to help. And I've just got a little bit more to do. And see, I'm stretching. I don't know if a friend would still be useful at this point, but I can get it. And I will remove this orange hand basting once I'm done. But that'll just kind of help and avoid the pins some, and I can double check that nothing has gotten twisted, and then I can edge stitch. Ouch. The pins, they're really sharp. Just keep all that stuff tucked up in there and get it basted down. Last little chunk. Undo that pin is just. And yes, you're kind of thick here where the elastic is. That's okay. These machines should be able to handle it. I'm gonna undo that. Yeah, the objective is to not see the waist seam. So I'm edge stitching just over top of that waist seam. And if you've attached yours right side of waistband to right side of skirt instead of right side of waistband to wrong side of skirt, you'll just be looking at it from a different angle. And here we come to the elastic part. All right. So we still have to stretch. So every time I stop, I'm leaving my needle down to kind of anchor stuff. Let's see, right there. And I must have pricked myself. And we just keep going cautiously. I'm about to make it. I'll get to this end and stop. Obviously, do your entire waist. Since I haven't pinned the other section yet, I will stop there. And our instructions say that we're going to come back and do another, like, around the top, 1/4 inch top stitch. So again, stretching everybody out at the elastic parts as you sew. And then all that should be left is the hook and eye next week. Yeah. So remember that this little bit of the elastic right around your zipper, no stretch. We don't really want the stretch to start until the zipper is done. So this little flat part right there. All right, I want to see some good progress being made over the weekend. Remember that this project is one of the ones that you may have corrections to make after I've graded it. So it's best to get it done right before turning it in, because you'll have to make those corrections on top of the next project that we're doing. Hopefully there won't be any corrections. We'll all get them good.